Okay, so you're getting ready to sell your home. You've probably heard the advice a million times. You have to stage it. But let's be real for a second. It just sounds like a ton of work, a lot of money, and a huge hassle. So the big question is it really worth it? Or is it just an expensive chore? Well, we're going to dive in and see what the actual data has to say. I mean, this is the question, isn't it? You love your home the way it is, all your stuff is there, it's comfortable. Why on earth would you go through all that trouble just for somebody else? And you know what? That's a totally fair question. But the answer really comes down to a big shift in how you think about what you're actually selling. And this quote right here, this is the whole idea. It really gets to the heart of it. A house is just, bricks and mortar or a bunch of rooms. But a home, that's an emotion. People are searching for the place where they can picture their future, where their life is going to happen. And that decision is just as much emotional as it is financial. That's why staging isn't about getting rid of your personality. Not at all. It's really about creating a beautiful, clean canvas. Think about it. When a buyer walks in and sees all of your family photos, your kids' art on the fridge, your unique collections, it's harder for them to mentally move their life into that space. The goal is to make it super easy for them to walk in, look around, and just say, yep, I can see us living here. Okay, so selling a feeling sounds nice and all, but does it actually translate into cold, hard cash and less time on the market? This is where we stop talking about feelings and start looking at the hard data from the National Association of REALTORs to see what the real-world impact is. Let's talk money first. According to a recent report from the NAR, nearly 1 in 3 sellers agents said that staging a home increased the offer price by anywhere from 1 to 10%. Now, let's put that in perspective. On a $400,000 home, that's an extra $4,000 to $40,000. That is a huge return on investment. And it's not just about the final price tag. It's also about speed. Get this. Almost half of sellers agents report that staging helped homes sell faster. And a faster sale means fewer open houses, way less stress, and you get to move on to your next chapter that much sooner. In real estate, time really is money. And here it is. This is the number that connects all the dots. A whopping 83% of buyers' agents said that staging makes it easier for their clients to visualize a property as their future home. That's not a small number, folks. It's a massive psychological advantage that just proves that creating that clean, inviting canvas really, really works. All right, so the data is pretty convincing, right? Staging can mean a higher price and a faster sale. So the next logical question is, where in the world do you start? The great news is you don't have to perfectly stage every single closet and corner of your house. Let's get into the playbook for a smart, focused strategy. This is where you get the most bang for your buck. Buyers care the most about the living room. That makes sense, right? It's where they see themselves relaxing, watching movies, having people over. The primary bedroom is a very close second. That's their private escape. And of course, the kitchen, the heart of the home. You focus on these three and you've covered 94% of what buyers really care about. And what's really fascinating is when you see how this plays out with the pros. There's an almost perfect match between the rooms that buyers prioritize and the rooms that experienced real estate agents actually spend their time and money staging. They know where to focus for the biggest effect, and you should too. Now, before you start thinking about renting a bunch of expensive furniture, hang on. The top recommendations from agents are things you can absolutely do yourself. Number 1, by a long shot, is just declutter. It costs nothing but your time, and it makes every room look bigger and brighter. A deep, sparkling clean is number 2, and making a great first impression with curb appeal is number 3. If you just nail these basics, you are way ahead of the game. So, what are we talking about in terms of cost? Well, the NAR report breaks it down pretty clearly. If your agent helps you out, maybe using some of your stuff and some of their own, the median cost is around $500. If you hire a full-on professional staging company, you're looking at a median of about $1,500. Now, you can take those numbers and weigh them against that potential 1 to 10% bump in your sale price. So, we've looked at the psychology, we've looked at the data, and we've looked at the game plan. So, where does this all leave us? It's time to frame this whole decision not just as a cost, but as a really strategic choice. So let's quickly recap the big takeaways here. First, always remember you're selling a vision, not just a property. You're helping buyers see their future. Second, the data is clear. This approach can lead to higher offers and a faster sale. And finally, you don't have to overcomplicate it. Focus on decluttering and those 3 key areas: the living room, the primary bedroom, and the kitchen.
And at the end of the day, that's really what this all boils down to. When you look at the potential for a higher price and a quicker, less stressful sale, that initial cost of staging starts to look a lot less like an expense and a lot more like the very first step in getting the best possible return on your biggest asset. It's a powerful thought to leave you with as you get ready to sell.